Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing the first two episodes of Blackbird on Apple TV+. So Blackbird is a new true crime drama that they just released on Apple TV+, and it follows the story of James Keene, who is played by Taron Egerton, who is a convicted drug dealer. He is sentenced to 10 years in prison. He's kind of tricked into it because he believes he's doing a plea for 5 years. Next thing you know, he's pinned with a decade-long sentence in jail. Then he's given a proposition by the authorities that he can go into a supermax prison, transfer to this prison, befriend someone who is a suspected serial killer, get them to tell him some information about the cases to maybe peg him with some more crimes before he's released on appeal. Paul Walter Hauser plays this suspected serial killer, Larry Hall, and I think he does a fantastic job. I think he's the standout in the series. I think both him and Taron Egerton are fantastic in their roles. Taron Egerton is playing this kind of suave gangster in a way. He's this very charismatic and almost likable person, but then beneath the surface you can tell there's a temper there, that he's not the best guy in the world. And one of the things that's really interesting about this role is that it's really different for Taron Egerton, at least in my experience. I'm used to him playing, from Kingsman or Rocket Man or the Robin Hood movie. He's always playing this British hero in a lot of ways, but then in this one he has an American accent. He's a mobster. He's someone who's very shady, and you can see it in his mannerisms. He's bulked up for this role. His hair is very reminiscent of these kinds of individuals. He looks a lot like the real life person, and also his demeanor. He has a very serious look on his face a lot of the time. He's contemplating, he's thinking a lot. There's a lot of long shots of him in prison, like contemplating his life, contemplating his choices, and I think he plays the role really well. Someone who's struggling to help both his family, his own personal interests. He still has that kind of conniving demeanor to him below the surface. Paul Walter Hauser as Larry Hall, like I said, he does a great job. He's someone who is so hard to peg down what they're thinking, what they're doing, dealing with some mental illnesses, some mental deficiencies. He's just such an unsettling character when he's on screen. He's constantly shifting his story. He's shifting his eyes back, and some great scenes in particular where he's being interrogated or he's being transferred from, the jail into the prison, where you're seeing his character shift, you're seeing things change, you're seeing his story change. You don't really know if he did it or he didn't do it. He feels like a compulsive liar, but then there's times where it breaks and you feel like maybe this is really happening. And I think that's something the show excels on. It's having a little bit of tension and ambiguity, so it keeps you on the hook and you want to continue watching and following the story. Ray Liotta, who also just unfortunately passed recently, is also in the show, and he does a really good job. He plays Jimmy's father, and he's really struggling with the fact that his son is incarcerated. His health is declining, and he is one of the reasons why Jimmy decides to take on this kind of impossible task where he needs to get this information, go to this really dangerous prison, because he wants to get out in time to spend some time with his father and stop having his father stress over all the problems with him being in jail. And as far as the tension goes, it's built on this very atmospheric foundation where it's very gloomy, it's very dark, the music is very menacing and swelling. You're really thrown into this classic true crime drama. And it's something that I personally really enjoyed about the show, was the overall atmosphere and the way they set up every character and every moving piece so that everything's coming together. The first two episodes has a lot of buildup. It has a lot of character development. It's really setting the stakes and setting the tone for the rest of the series. Because in the first episode, you're focusing mainly on Jimmy and his life, Taron Egerton's character, and where things went wrong for him, where he kind of got caught by the police, where he got sent to prison, where he's struggling to, come to grips with what he needs to do. In the second episode, we're given a little more understanding of Larry, his role, what he's done in the past, who his character is, how his relationships may work out throughout the show. And then by the end of the second episode, you kind of have them finally coming together. I also feel like the cinematography of the show is really solid. There's a lot of those long tension-filled shots that you expect from a true crime drama. There's a lot of great sweeping scenes of scenery and fields, and you understand the scope of what's happening and these missing people and these victims. So it focuses not just only on the killer and about the criminals involved. So you feel like there's real stakes to this. You're really rooting for, the truth to be unfolded so you can get justice for these individuals. So I like that aspect of the show. I avoided really reading anything about what happens in real life. So I think that's something that's definitely a benefit to the show. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know anything about the case, so I don't know how true to life it is. I know it is based on true events. So if you've read about the case or you understand the case a little bit more, how's it stacking up so far? So those are my brief initial thoughts on the first two episodes. So like I said, I feel like the show is really excelling in its atmosphere and its production. It has that gripping tension that you really want from a true crime drama, and the performances are fantastic. We've had a lot of good true crime shows this year, and I think these two performances may be some of the best. So if you checked out Blackbird, let me know what you think about it so far. I was trying to avoid going into too many spoilers. I really, like I said, I don't know where the story's going. I haven't read into the true life case. So leave those comments down below. Remember to like and subscribe. See you guys next time.